All right, so I am on Reddit, and I am going to exit out of some of these tabs that I don't need anymore. And I'm going to look at some reptile enclosures, and I will give you my honest opinion of them. And obviously, it can change depending on species and how it's taken care of. Because it's not so much what it looks like that's the important part. It's that all the needs are met. It can look like it. Like with a fish tank. I'm more I'm more prone and more fond of like the natural look, the rocks, the logs, the sticks, the leaves, the substrate. But some people like the colorful pebbles and the SpongeBob decor. And this is not going to be a judge on someone's opinions on what they like for their enclosures. It's to make sure that they have what they need for the enclosures. I keep bumping my mic. So let's get into the first one, I guess. So this person, my reptile room, nearly $30,000 between two enclosures. It's not gonna be able to let me see. That is an amazing enclosure. Looks like for a Burmese python. Oh no, a retic. Was that a Burmese at the beginning though? That's what I thought it was. Yeah, that's a Burm at the beginning. I don't like that. I don't like that they put. Oh well, they might have a divider in there. Nope, that's a second cage over there. Okay. So yeah, I'm not a fan of them putting the retic and the Burmese python together. I do not recommend cohabitation unless you really know what you're doing. And for those two giant snakes, that enclosure is not big enough, in my opinion. For either one of them by themselves, it's fine. But putting both of them together, I don't like that idea because they are two apex predator snakes from their own regions of the world, and they are not really meant to coexist inside of a small enclosure together. So and make no mistake, I'm no expert. I don't know everything. Maybe they know something that I don't. But under the knowledge that I have, cohabitating different species like that is not a great idea typically. So I'm not a fan of that one. But maybe they know something that I don't. See, DIY reptile enclosure question. I like the enclosures in the picture. They look very custom and, handmade. They don't look like they were just, bought. Not bad. They're pretty good, especially if they're going to have one species per enclosure. They look to be about 6x2x2s to me. So for anything smaller than, a boa, that's probably okay. It's great for bearded dragons, uromastyx. Not great for the larger lizards like tegus and monitors, but let's see. Does it say one of the DIY bookshelves and reptile enclosures for leopard gecko? Oh, those would be perfect. Already have an idea on what to do for decor and substrate wise, but I'm a bit stuck on lighting and providing heat for them. Yeah, that's a good question. I would struggle with that at first too. An idea what I can do to make that possible? How can I provide the heat and lighting for each individual shelf? What shall I shop for? For these, if it was me, and this is just responding to the actual post, I would get the caged heat bulbs, and I would get the. I don't know if I would do just heat or if I would do mercury vapor. I'd almost want to make the enclosures a little taller, but they could also do halogen. You can get much smaller bulbs that produce a lot of heat, so you don't have to have as much space. So halogen would probably be better for leopard geckos in this sense, and you can have a T10 UV light for all of them. I know some people say, or it seems a lot of people used to say, and I don't know, I haven't looked into it in a while, but last I heard, they said that leopard geckos don't need UV light, but it's never a bad idea to provide it. So this would be a great enclosure for leopard geckos, but I would recommend halogen lights and a UV light and multiple hides. It looks like there's very minimal, but it also looks like they're just starting to decorate it in this picture. So I would definitely do a lot of decorating, multiple hides. I would probably do a hide on both ends, one in the middle, and then a human hide on both ends, with a nice sized water bowl that's shallow for them to not drown in, but big enough that they could crawl in. Is what I would do. Then I'd provide several climbing branches and, you know, some leaf litter and stuff for them to hide in. That's what I would do. Let's see. This one looks nice. That looks like a prefabricated one. Trying to buy my first PVC enclosure. I'm in between. It's for a tokay gecko. Okay, so yeah. This isn't really... This is just people talking about enclosures. Let's try DIY. I forgot to put... That's not what I wanted. Built my first bearded dragon enclosure with foam. Did a pretty good job, you know, I mean... It can be improved, but for, you know, a first try, it looks fantastic, honestly. It really does. Let's try... Rate my reptile enclosure. That might change what we find. Rate my enclosure. That is an amazing enclosure. I want one. Let's see. 25 days ago, so this is fairly recent. That is not big enough. That is a 55-gallon tank. It's a rescue beardy, but if you have a bearded dragon, I really like the advice that I got from Adam Wicken. I have not met him in person. I'd love to, but I would not put a bearded dragon, an adult bearded dragon specifically, into anything smaller than a 125. I have an adult beardy that I have in a 125 right now, and I have a baby beardy that is too small for that big of a cage, but I am already actively looking for a deal to get a 125 for a reasonable price, so I already have it when she gets bigger, or when he gets bigger, sorry. But yeah, too small. Aside from that, though, has the, you know, the slate platform for basking, which is great. Has the rocks for or the branches for climbing. Has the hide under the hot side, hide on the cool side. I don't see a water dish, because it looks like I'm not seeing a water dish, so I'm going to assume they took it out for the photos, but they need a water dish. That's kind of important. You have to have a water dish. So, not the worst enclosure that I've ever seen, but definitely needs a lot of improvements. It also needs UV, which, I mean, it might have the two lights, and maybe that's what that light is. That might be the UV. But if that is the UV light, it needs to be over the basking area so they can get UV lights or UV rays while they're basking. That's the UV light. I have one of those. So yeah, I highly recommend this gets upgraded. It's not like dire, like it needs to be done in the next day or it's going to kill your dragon, but the sooner you can get it done, the better it is for your dragon's health. So if you made this and you see this video, please upgrade. Look on Marketplace or Craigslist, or just save up the money to go get a 125. It can stay in the 55-gallon until you get a 125. It's not going to just die. It's not going to be too cramped. It's going to start deforming. But this is not a life for a bearded dragon long term. Temporarily, it's not so bad, but long term, you're going to want to move it to a 125. They'll be much happier. Let's see, this one was 3 years ago, so this one, let's see. Oh, this looks nice. Let's see, it looks like a water dish, has plenty of climbing space, has a hide. That is a frog. I thought this was a crested gecko enclosure, I'm not going to lie. But I really like this, assuming that's a feeding dish. Well, no, those are feeding dishes. Is there a crested gecko in here? Because those... Oh, okay. It might have been... Did it say frogs and crested geckos? Rate my enclosures. Okay. Okay. So this must just be the tree frog enclosure. I'm wondering, I think that's a White's tree frog. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know amphibians as well as I know snakes, but it's, yeah, this is a great enclosure, this one. I mean, I would give it maybe a little bit bigger of an enclosure, but as far as decor, it looks like the substrate's going to be a nice humid substrate. It has a nice water dish, food dishes. This is a pretty good enclosure. Got a nice hide. I like that. I want that for my Cresties. I need to figure out where to get one. I have this thing. I'm not a fan of these, the bamboo expandables. They've never really worked well for me, but aside from that, this looks good too. A little more bare than this first one, but it's still not bad. This one looks really nice. The picture's a little dark, but it's got a nice shallow water dish. I'm assuming this is a hide. Nice climbing branches. Beautiful gecko. Truly beautiful. The artificial mushroom, the skull, looks really nice. I like that. I'd give this enclosure probably an 8 out of 10. A solid 8. This one probably a 5 or 6. This one a 9, just because it's beautiful. Let's look to be all those. Right in my enclosure. Okay, so it's a PVC enclosure. That's good. What's being housed in this enclosure is an important... Is that a ball python? Does it say it? I don't use this very much. Okay, that's just the response. Yeah, I'm assuming this is a ball python. So I would ditch the substrate. Get more of a moist substrate, reptile or cocoa fiber, cocoa husk, cypress mulch, something. Aspen bedding's not good for ball pythons. They need to have some humidity, and this will destroy humidity. The hide's great. Love the hide. Water bowl's fine. It needs more decor. Because, just 2 sticks in the middle is not going to be sufficient. There's only one hide. You need one on both sides. The water bowl should probably be closer to the middle. But the corner hide the corner bowl is fine as long as you can fit another hide in that side of the enclosure. Get rid of the red light. It's unnecessary. Unless you live in a climate where you really have to have heat on all the time, you could probably get away with shutting off the heat light at nighttime and turning it back on in the morning, as long as it's not dropping below like 60 degrees. However, if you need a heat source, get rid of the red bulb, get a ceramic heat emitter. They work so much better, and they don't have this light on. I know a lot of people like seeing their animals at nighttime, but this is not what you want. The snakes and the animals can absolutely see red light. I know it's a big misconception that they can't see red light, but they can, I promise. So do your snake the favor, shut the light off, and put a ceramic heat emitter in, because it produces no light, just heat. So if you have to have heat at night, that's the way to go. And your snakes will thank you. Excuse me, will thank you for it. But yeah, pretty bare, more decor, extra hide, change the bedding, and I would get, it looks like you only have one heat lamp. It's this one. I would get a second heat lamp, one with a white light. That's a heat light, and then this one for the ceramic heat emitter for the nighttime. Unless you don't need it at nighttime because it's warm enough in your area. Let's see, we'll do one more, and we'll end the video at that. Sorry, here. 29 gallon I got for free. Well, you can't beat free. For the price. It's pretty good. That looks, pretty good. I don't know what animal's in this. Let's see. Got a nice humid hide. That's good. They have a water bowl. They have this dragon climbing statue. I'm assuming it's probably a crested gecko. I haven't seen one yet. There might be one hidden in like this image somewhere that I just haven't seen yet. But I assume it's a cresty because of the tube and the humid hide. It could be a leopard gecko too, I guess. But If it's a leopard gecko, if I'm not mistaken, they need less humidity than what this can provide. But it's not awful to have this. So, but assuming that I'm right and it's a crested gecko, I don't know if it said it. It just said got for free. Let's see. Do they... Haven. Oh, okay. It's a corn snake. Just upgraded my baby corn to a 29-gallon and got for free. She loves climbing and paper towels. Okay, so for a corn snake, this is great. Because corn snakes, at least mine does, they like to burrow, and they burrow a lot. So the humid hide is great. They can burrow throughout. They have the 2 tubes they can climb through. Yeah, this is pretty good. I mean, I can't see. Looks like they have 2 lights, so I don't know which ones. This one might be nighttime heat. This one might be daytime heat, and then maybe that one don't work. I don't know. But looking at this, it's a pretty good enclosure, especially for a baby corn. That's a mansion. That's great. Good job. Seriously. You provided what I can observe at the moment anyway, as all the needs for it. So, good job. Yeah, really like that. It's good choice. If you came and watched for the whole video, thank you. And I would really appreciate if you guys would like and subscribe. That would be amazing. And I know I say a lot. I apologize. This is very new to me to do this. I've never had this kind of opportunity. I've never had everything I have now. Like this microphone, I literally just opened this microphone for this video. I just hooked up my webcam for this video, and they're going to stay up for future videos, but these are new tools for me. So I apologize if I'm a little, bleached from the light, because if I turn my light off, I'm green. If I turn it on, instant bleach. So I'm going to play around with some settings, but oh goodness. I'm going to play around with some settings and try to get it looking nicer. Ignore my background. Me and my wife are cleaning and prepping for moving, so it might be a while before we can move, but we're trying to prep and trying to move forward and get stuff settled and taken care of. So, but yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I plan on doing more. I have a bunch of care guides that I've collected from various pet stores. Petco, PetSmart, and Pet Supplies Plus, that I will be reviewing and going over and kind of giving my thoughts and opinions on them. Yeah, and I will look forward to taking you guys on that adventure next. But thank you for coming by, watching, and like I said, like, subscribe, or just kind of watch and share. It really doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm doing this for fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.